Hello, I'm Jane. So it's 4 years now since I finished my treatment with the fibro guy. I can't believe that really. But my problems all started back in 1997, so many years ago. Initially when I dislocated a kneecap on holiday, which at the time I assumed, like anybody else, oh, the knee will be, strapped up for 6 weeks, then I'll be good as new. But sadly that wasn't what happened, and things just went from bad to worse, with the other kneecap then dislocating, and being unable to walk at all, then developing back pain, then getting more and more different joints dislocating, things like head of fibula popping out on a near daily basis, and pretty much every joint of my body dislocating on a regular basis. This went on for years and years and years, for 23 years in fact, and I got to the point where I couldn't stand for more than about 2 minutes. I couldn't sit unless I was on a sort of specially adapted chair. I couldn't bend down at all. I could only drive very limited distances, 40 minutes, before I got absolutely crippling back pain. So everything was organised around trying to fit it into 40-minute chunks. And then life was very stressful, because if you got caught in a traffic jam or roadworks, obviously then I was stressing, knowing that my back was going to give me crippling pain for weeks and weeks afterwards. My walking was really, really restricted too. And then along with that I had a lot of fatigue, other things like I couldn't tolerate cold at all. I used to faint on a very regular basis. I mean, most days I used to faint for several years. I say joint dislocations and pain every day, just all the time. And and I really had to do the dreaded pacing to get through life, of spreading out everything I was doing, trying to do the minimal. So life was really difficult. It was just really about getting through every day and not focusing further ahead than that. And I tried everything over 23 years. I had umpteen surgeries. I saw many physios, acupuncture, holistic therapists. I went abroad for 3 months for specialist treatment. I went on the STAMMOR program. By this point, 9 years in, I'd been diagnosed with EDS, and various other things. And I tried lots and lots of stuff. And I had small improvements, maybe, 1% or 2% a year I was improving by. And to keep that up, I was doing 4 hours a day of physio every day. And I was reliant on manual therapy to put lots of joints back every week. And just to provide me with a little bit of pain relief to get through the next day. So life was about survival and getting through the current day, and trying to hang on to my job so I could earn a living and keep a house and all the normal things in life. And that went on for 23 years. And then things deteriorated during the pandemic. And that's when my EDS was in meltdown. I reached out on a Facebook forum and somebody told me about the fibro guy. And I had nothing to lose, so I contacted Adam there, and pretty much immediately, as soon as lockdown was lifted, went down and started his program. And since then, things have changed dramatically. After 23 years of really struggling with life, suddenly I really understood what was going on with my condition. I realised a lot of what I'd learned through both doctors and the internet was actually not quite right in relation to EDS and how it all works. I started to understand that the pain I was having didn't mean actually I had an injury. Adam taught me lots of stuff about neuroscience, which really opened my eyes to what was going on. Things like zone moving and mapping, which really helped me to suddenly stabilize my joints and just be able to feel where everything was in time and space again and use it properly. I have to say, it was the most challenging 12 weeks of my life. It really wasn't easy, physically and mentally. It's a hard program, but Adam was brilliant and he was there throughout for me. So he got me through it, supported me. We had lots of laughter on the way as well. So yeah, he was brilliant in getting me through. By the time I came out of that program, only 12 weeks later, bearing in mind I'd been struggling for 23 years, I was already able to drive. I mean, within 3 weeks, my 40-minute driving threshold had reached 2 hours. And a few weeks after that, the threshold just went away altogether, and I could drive where I wanted, when I wanted, which was just absolutely wonderful. My pain after 12 weeks on the program was probably reduced by about 80%. I had no issues with feeling the cold or being intolerant to cold. I was fine. I could go out in any temperature. I could walk a couple of miles, could sit on any chair. I was able to bend down. I could actually pick up stuff off the floor and do basic stuff like get to my washing machine or my freezer or my bottom kitchen cupboards and all the things I hadn't accessed for 23 years. And best of all, I didn't have to pace at all anymore. I wasn't getting that fatigue thing of trying something and then being completely zonked out for days afterwards. And then I just carried on building on that foundation, really. It's been 4 years since I've finished now. And because of the understanding Adam's given me, I've just been able to progress further and further and further. And it's completely transformed my life. I've been able to build my business in a way I couldn't have dreamt of before the program, because now I can get out and about, I can lift equipment, I can drive to different venues, I have loads more energy, so I can drive the business forward, I can go where I want, when I want. I've taken up some old hobbies as well, which has been the best bit of my recovery. I've been able to take up hiking, and with lots of training and encouragement from friends, I've built that up, and 2 years after I finished Adam's program, I actually managed to hike a marathon distance of 26.2 miles. And then I moved on to hill walking, and with my friend I've climbed several of the Brecon Beacons, and then earlier this year we actually climbed Snowdon, which has just been absolutely amazing. It took a year of training, a lot of hard work, but nothing dislocated. I didn't have any pain other than a bit of normal person pain that anybody would have the day after they climbed Snowdon. I didn't have any fatigue. In fact, I even went for a 6-mile walk in Snowdonia the day after doing the climb. I was that fine. And then most recently, I've taken up a very old hobby from nearly 30 years ago, which I never dreamt I'd revisit, which is go-karting. Started that in May, just for a little bit of fun. Then I got reasonably good at it, picked up a few of these little trophies, and then to my amazement, my instructor suggested in August that my times might be good enough to enter the British Indoor Karting Championship. So, hey, why not? The oldest rookie ever at 54, I went in for it, and I got as far as the local finals, where I was racing lots of young lads who were typically 16 to 19 years old, and I had an absolute ball and thoroughly enjoyed it. So yeah, life is wonderful. I'm so thankful to Adam for what he's done for me, getting my life back on track. And for anybody who's thinking about going for the Fibro Guy program, just do it. Expect it to be really, really hard work, but it will transform your life.